Audio Jungle.
It is our ultimate duty to give you what you want to know, what you need to know, and what you ought to know. Thank God it's Friday. This is Bystanders at Newsstand. I am Michael Adekunle. On today's newspaper review, we have several newspapers talking on the same topic, which is the issue of minimum wage. Today we have the Punch newspaper saying something. It reads, "Beware of anti-workers. Governors, NLC warns Buhari." I repeat, beware of anti-workers. Governors, NLC warns Buhari. With a beautiful rider here, we will vote out governors against 30,000 naira minimum wage, says Labour. We will vote out governors against 30,000 naira minimum wage, says Labour. Here is a picture illustrating a cross-section of kingmakers during the conferment of first-class chieftaincy title on His Royal Highness Pozo Magaji in Jos. Here we still have another beautiful headline here, very captivating one here. Boko Haram brutally deploys special forces, terrorists burns villages. Nigeria will be world's second biggest rice importer in 2019, says USDA. Pastor arraigned for abducting, sleeping with married chorister. Again, pastor arraigned for abducting, sleeping with married chorister. This is what we have on the Punch newspaper today. Remember, this is Bystanders at Newsstand. I am Michael Adekunle. Let us meet our reviewers at the newsstands. I'll be right back.
The issue ongoing is currently, you can see, I want to talk about the one that called trader money. Trader money that Asibanjo bring for the women in the West. I don't know whether it is general. He said no form trader money. Now this trader money is just 10,000 naira. What can 10,000 naira do to a woman to do trader? Where do you go buy to do trading? Is it to run a shop, to sit down and sell, or to sit down in the sun and sell? Trader money 10,000. Okay, APC government, did they bring our women to sit down for sun and sell market for trader money, or say they should hawk for street with 10,000? Oh, they buy pure water because that money can buy only pure water. You can't buy anything. Say you sell reasonable thing. Today in Nigeria, you can only buy pure water, and these women that keep trader money 10,000 is to hawk all over the globe. Is that good for our government? Is that what we want? Is it to hawk our women in our house to be hawking? Is that what we want for APC? Is that what they promise us? Now let us check very clearly. Look at these people. Trader money is the worst. Before a woman come up for that place that they keep the money is that what? You are finished. Because Nigerian money have no value. So what I suggest them to do is to bring a government that they promise us. They have the vision, and I see it clearly too. But now hypocrisy don't like them not to have that vision, to run with that vision. Release your mind. The money we get them, spread it, let it go to all Nigeria. Let us see something reasonable. Trader money 10,000 is a shameful.
Don't you think it's part of poverty alleviation?
Poverty alleviation for one day, or spending 10,000, or 2 days, 10,000 don't finish. The least poverty alleviation that women should hawk for street with pure water for trader money. What are they even toilet paper? Why are they going to sit down to rent shop? Can they rent shop with trader money? 10,000? They can't rent shop. So where can they be to sell with this trader money? Is it for street? In Lagos State here, Ambode say don't sell for street. In Ibadan, oh, maybe they should sell for street for Ibadan. Or run everywhere, sell for street for trader money. 10,000 naira, 10,000. That they pay to the mere sell girl. Or I don't think sell girl even correct higher. They give for the women, Nigerian women, to be trader money. Is that what we're supposed to take? Let us check very well.
We have this on the Punch newspaper today, which different newspapers in Nigeria are also capturing. Beware of anti-workers. Governors, NLC warns Buhari. Now, we vote out governors against 30,000 naira minimum wage. It seems the issue of minimum wage is becoming serious.
Nigerian pay a minimum wage. Nigerian pay the best all over the world.
The best?
Nigerian pay the best all over Africa. I don't pay pass the minimum wage. If they pay 5,000, 30,000. If they pay 30,000, Nigerian pay highest in the whole Africa.
Have you confirmed it?
Yes. Now, why this money don't make sense is that our currency is too poor. It's too poor. If the currency is, we turn back to coin, to use coin back, Kobo apply to buy, Kobo apply for rotating. This money will make sense. But now, this money is just like a dust according to our currency today.
Because of inflation.
Because of inflation. So now, federal government try, they can make me to pay. I want them to pay it. But even though they pay this time, that is not enough for them because of the economy that we have, the currency that we have is too poor. So what government could do is what? Power the naira. Power the naira. Even you pay them 25,000, they will certify. Power the naira. Then the naira, Kobo come back, buy something in Kobo. Now this money will have value. So what Nigerian don't know is that our currency now make this money to be so rated. Nigerian pay almost 80% for the whole Africa for this month. 30,000 if they happen to pay. But because our currency is useless. Come on 1,000 now. It's gone. So there's nothing. So if the currency is stronger, Nigerian could enjoy, it will be the best to our enjoyment.
What is your own view, sir?
My own view is the 30,000 minimum wage is okay for them to pay it because a lot of Nigeria is suffering and hunger. So that's my issue.
So what's your advice?
My advice for that let Buhari do accordingly to pay it. That's my advice.
These workers supposed to. These workers has to be like this. Government gets money, governors gets money. A lot of this in all the states. If you don't populate, if they cannot pay this 30 minimum wage, and I will prevent them to vote out all those government, and I support in that because they supposed to populate, and workers need this kind of money to help a state, to help a country. Is more interesting and something that can help us. And this governor where they don't want to populate, we need to vote them out because they can do that. And we know many of them what they control. They know the sources of all the money where all of them they control for their family or they control. So they need to cooperate with workers. So that's what I'm trying to say now.
Do you see Labour going on strike if the governors refuse to pay the minimum wage expected of them?
Yeah, I would like that to happen. I would like them to go on strike. So that they will know that there is something happening in this country, and they will know that it's Labour are angry in this country.
Of the 30,000 naira salary as a minimum wage. Do you know that people that are carrying a beggar from Ogba collecting ordinary no longer collecting ordinary again? They will say it's 150 just because government increase the salary of the workers.
Sir, what concerns beggar with the issue of minimum wage?
No, what I'm saying is that if government eventually implement the payment of 30,000 naira as a minimum wage for the civil servants, that every sectors will be affected, and they have forgotten that we are not all working either as a civil servant. We have a businessman, we have people, even though we have the artisan, we have people that are doing their own. But all these things that all these things that government is doing is not that they are doing it based on the fact that okay, they don't want people to get money, but all of us, we are going to be affected. Sure, you understand me? If at the end of the day we will realize that if that 30,000 naira, if I thought they are able to pay you the 30,000 naira, what we are getting at the end of the month will not up to 5,000 naira as a salary, because everything in the market will be skyrocketing in terms of price. they will increase. If they are selling a bowl of garri for the 15 naira, they say government have increased salary, they will increase it to 100 naira. You understand me? So whatever they are selling, everything will be increased. Now, for instance, now I don't know what happened. Just of a recent, they increased the price of bread that they are selling for 400 naira. They say it's 450. So if government increase the salary now, they'll be selling 500 naira. And the ingredients to make bread, to bake bread does not increase. There is no increment in flour, there is no increment in sugar, there is no increment in promise. So why are they increasing the price of the bread? So that is just it. So whatever happens, everything it is going to bounce back on the masses, on the majority that are not even working. And okay, this thing can only pay people that are in high rank. Either you are the director, maybe you are level 16, you are level this, you are level that. But people that are just collecting as a minimum is nothing to me. To me, it's nothing. And the money we are talking about is not even up to $100. It's almost $90-something. So can you just imagine? So and during the time of Abacha, whatever, they increased the from 7,500 to 18,000. At least it's equivalent to $200 then. But now it's not even up to $100, and we are just clamoring. Like one Governor Yari said the other yesterday, or day before yesterday, that if they are going to be paying this amount, they are going to be downsizing. They are going to be retrenchment of workers in the ministry. If these people that are even working in the ministry, in the private in the local government, the state government, they are not doing anything. They were just sitting down there watching television. You are working, you are in the engineering department. If there is any fault in the vehicle you are using, you take it to the mechanic outside. You cannot do it yourself. You say you are working in the agricultural department. If there is anything there is something we do about it. So all these things is going to affect us. It's going to bounce back on the masses. It's going to bounce back on people that are working along the street that are not even working. They are not even civil servants. So, but no, I'm not saying it is bad. It is very, very good. Let government increase the salary, but at the end of the day, we see what will happen.
Labourers are saying we will vote out governors that refuse to pay minimum wage. 30,000 naira, is it too much?
Well, going by the standard of the economy, for me, I think it's too much because really there is no money. It's usually whereby government borrows to pay salary and allowances. They may find it difficult to pay workers. And at the end of the day, you find a mass retrenchment on the part of the state governors. So for me, I think to be on the safe side, they can peg it at 22,500 naira.
22,500 naira.
Yes, to guarantee the continuous employment of or the continuous stay of the workers. We all know that the money is too small. But if you look at the sharing formula between the states and the federal, you discover that what the states are getting is so minimal that they may not be able to meet with the salary wage. And again, if you look at the unnecessary expenses by our elected officials, if they can cut down their expenses, of which me I'm not saying, because we have what we call a systematic failure in this country. I'm not seeing them cutting down their expenses. It's not whereby a senator earns in millions, fraudulent millions, and that person is not ready to cut it down. And we the masses, we are not even helping the issues because it is the same people that will come to us for a re-election and we still vote for them. Maybe after they must have given us maybe some kind of stipends, we still vote for them. So it's a systematic failure. There is nothing we can do about it. If the promise us that they are going to pay 30,000 naira, believe me, you, it is a political statement. They can't do it. They can't do it.
They can't pay 30,000 naira.
The only way this issue can be resolved is whereby they review the sharing formula between the states and the federal and the local government. If they can give more to the states, I think the governors can be able to pay it. But with this current sharing formula, and with the fact that governors will like to employ thousands of aides, and all of these people are drawing from the pool, from the coffers of the government. 30,000 naira minimum wage for me is not feasible. Maybe at the federal level, but at the state level, I don't think
it's not possible, right?
It's not possible.
That's your opinion.
Realistically, it's not possible.
Most black nation on earth. Till tomorrow, Nigeria is a giant of Africa. Don't believe that one. That one a name. All the name una use there. If you like, go mark am. You know, say I see all that. You know that name una still dey use am. Una they no dey respect una like before. Go check am. You know, if you journalist, you know the challenge. That giant una just dey use am as a pampas. You know, be like as una be before.
What's the reason?
What's the reason?
Because of our leaders, they fuck up. You understand? They not do the thing they're supposed to. You understand?
Now, on this issue of minimum wage, what do you have to say?
The minimum wage. One, I support what do they call it? This Nigeria is a lion the people labor. I support it, but they don't play the pattern well. You understand? It be like na APC people, and then they do them. You understand? They sponsor them. They know what. If you say na ordinary person there for this, you no go fit surrender. And another one, if be one Oyibo man, if it is na he our government use no do strike that again. Na he be the cocoa they use, and after that they call get back. Anything will happen may happen. They drag am, and na the man that leader of this na APC. Caucus, na he no go fit do anything. Na like this, party then but I support them anyhow it them be. Because me, I dey collect salary. They never pay me too much salary for where I am, but I still dey work as a human being. You understand? I no go kill myself, but I still dey talk my own as a daily man. As I read, I don't get small experience.
Who is our president?
Muhammadu Buhari.
I don't know him. I don't know Muhammad Buhari. All I know is Atiku. The next
But Atiku is not the president for now.
For now, we are preparing to become. We don't have president now. We are preparing to get a president.
How are you prepared?
Huh? By voting Atiku in. By voting Atiku.
And do you think your vote will count?
Yes. This one by vote. I will be standing there. You will be counting my. Immediately I cast my vote, I will be there. You count my vote. I can't. This is that a situation we can cast your vote and go home and sleep. When we cast our vote, we will be there. You count our vote. You count everything. Then you tell us how many we have in that pool unit before we leave.
Has this regime not favored you?
He not favor us at all. He did not favor me. I know that he will not favor. Even for the beginning, I know that he will not favor me. So I didn't cast vote to this regime. Now I want to cast my vote to somebody that will favor me.
Labours are saying we will vote out governors that refuse to pay the 30,000 naira minimum wage.
Actually, the Labour with their findings, they can be right and they can be wrong. Okay. Yes, because the governors in question, most of them are not coming back. Who are you voting? Who are you going to vote out? Because most of them are not coming back. Actually, they will come to an agreement that minimum 30,000 minimum wage will come to stand. No matter the cost, it will come to stand. Those states that say they don't have the resources, they should create avenue to make sure they create revenue to pay their workers. If you are running a business and you employ people to run that business, you must make provision for their income. So automatically, if the governors have anything at stake, they should look inwards, not going to Abuja for the normal what the federal government will give to them. They should look inward, create revenue like Lagos State. The various states have source of incomes, but because of what they are going back to Abuja to collect, they feel redundant to invest their IQ. Train your capacity, train your people to produce. Actually, Labour did not do the right thing in the first place, because 30,000 as a minimum wage is nothing to write home about. If
now you are telling me 30,000 naira is nothing to write home about.
Yes.
You remember it was 18,000 naira.
Yes.
Now 18,000 naira to 30,000 naira.
No.
There's a very big difference there.
No, the 18,000 naira you are talking about. What is the dollar rate? What is the market trend presently? So if you are giving that as a scenario, you are wrong, because the inflation gallop have so supersede 30,000. Because you cannot tell me an average businessman spends more than 30,000 as a gift. Then talk of a governor who manages the whole resources, who can generate money, and you are saying you cannot pay 30,000. It's appalling. It's an eyesore. It's painful. Very, very painful, because if you can manage a state, you can manage the resources, you can manage the manpower. What is commerce? Goods and services. The goods, the services are the men involved in the work. The goods are what you produce. So if you say you cannot pay 30,000, it's painful, very, very painful. It's unrealistic for them.
So what's your advice, sir?
My advice to the governors is to look inwards, those who are coming in, because the 30,000 minimum wage will not come up until after the election. It will not come up, you know. So if they really want to come in, they should embrace 30,000 as a stake. Because if they refuse to embrace that 30,000, they'll be voted out. And yes, some people are saying that the percentage of workers are not up to 10% in the whole country. What of the beneficiaries of all this 30,000? It goes back to the market woman, it goes back to the landlord, it goes back to every other person. So the beneficiaries also will be effective voting.
Well, people are looking at the president, the governors, the senators, but they forget about those pastors that has this money in our country. Adeboye, TV Joshua, Pastor Chris. They can change this country with what they have.
What's the business of pastors with minimum wage?
Really, seriously, if you ask me about that, I can't really say about their minimum wage. But the truth is that let us forget about the President Buhari or whoever that is on the throne right now. Let all Christians, Muslims come together, join their hands together. The mosques, the church, you know, because they have the money, they are riding jets, they have everything it takes to change this country. Forget about the president. Let church now come together to build this country, because the sin of this country is what is affecting Nigeria today. Yes, this country is the hand of the pastors, not Buhari, not any man, because the Bible says that the government are in the shoulder of Jesus Christ, and we are the representative of Christ in the life of every other person. So let the pastors come out and change this country, and let's stop blaming the government. Let's stop blaming senators, because the pastors, they have the money, they are rich. Look at, if you go to their church today, you see some people are suffering there. They are still collecting offering from them, collecting tithe from them. Let the pastor join hands together, all the pastors in Nigeria, create companies, job opportunity. I think things will be better in this country.
Do you think the pastors you just mentioned now have the financial capacity to maintain this country or to handle this country?
Yes, they have, because if they can buy jets, they have different houses and build houses, estate, investing. I think they have that money. If they don't have the money, where did they get the money to buy those stuff? They should come out and help the masses. People are suffering.
But the pastors are not politicians. You know that.
Now, pastors go to Aso Rock to drink tea. They visit president. They are politicians. Forget it. Politics have got into the church. Pastors are politicians. They are just pretending. I am Elijah. I am saying it, and I'm challenging all of them. Let them come out. What are they looking for in Aso Rock? Reverend Baka will go to Aso Rock, and Kumuyi will go to Aso Rock. Adeboye will go to. What are they looking for in Aso Rock? They should forget about Aso Rock and look for the masses that suffer and help them. That is the truth, sir. Let us face the reality and stop blaming governments. Because before Buhari become a president, Oyedepo is there, he's rich. Before Gula become a president, TV Joshua is there, he's rich. Pastor Chris is there, he's rich. Why are they putting the blame on them? That is the truth. Okay, sir, let's go to the Bible now. I'm sorry to say. When David, before he became a king, we have a prophet. The prophet who prophesied ordained him to become a king and give him direction how to lead the country. But today our prophet no longer correct our president. They go there to collect their own bribe and go back. Pastors are the problem of this country. They should come. It is truth. If they are not the problem of the country, they should have come out and create job opportunity. I'm saying the truth. They are driving jets. They have different kind of cars. Their children is abroad. You can imagine that you are a pastor. Your member cannot afford the school fees in your university. It's not a cause. The Bible says, say the truth and the truth shall set you free. It is because maybe you are a pastor. So the truth is that let them come out and help this country. Not only helping them with money, to also come out and pray for the country.
Where you go task God? They are criminals. The Nigerian pastor, they are gangsters. They go with convoy. Why? Are they afraid of death? I say you're a pastor, you are going with escort. So are you afraid to die? Because you have billions of money. You are a fake pastor. They are criminals. They are criminals. A law is coming that will ban all of them from carrying security around. Depend on your God. Say you are a pastor. Everybody will. Oh, pastor will say, hey, 100 people, come outside. 10,000. They are foreigners. They are occultic thieves. They are bastards. No pastor, they know themselves now. They are Nigerian pastor. They are criminality. I know them now. They will go to hell. And they must go to hell because they know not all of them. There are still some few among them that are sent. The majority of them are criminals. They are the one even batting the country. They are evils. See the last time when the main Nigeria was a problem against Jonathan and Buhari, only one pastor came outside in support of the whole nation. The rest supported the injustice, the looters. They are bastards forevermore. And if they don't repent, they will go to hell.
Get you up to say Jonathan will enter and he no enter. As far as they happen now, they do now own. We will see him. APC, Buhari is your president. Atiku is my president.
But I don't know. I don't have. Whose country are you? I'm a citizen. I'm a citizen of Nigeria. And Nigeria president is Muhammad Buhari. Okay, whose citizen are you? Are you from Benin Republic?
Don't ask me. I said I don't have president.
Whose country are you? I'm from Nigeria. And my president Nigeria is Muhammad Buhari. So I have president.
You're saying your opinion.
That's not opinion. It's not opinion.
It's your own opinion now. You say your own opinion. What kind of opinion to match my
opinion? It's your president. It's everybody's president.
Atiku is my president.
Yes.
That one is a mistake of human being.
They never do election now. I know. Okay, before Atiku, but now okay, the Azorok vacants now. It's Azorok vacants now.
Yes, now.
It's vacants now. No president there.
It's a dead person, clone person.
What you, of course. I don't think that you know what is happening.
You ask me question, I answer you now. I say Atiku is
roughly. The truth will set you free. 1, 2, 3, ABC. You can't say 4 is 5.
I remember your face, so. During the time of the 2015 election, you were the same person that campaigned for Buhari.
This is where we wrap it up on today's edition of Bystanders at Newsstand. I am Makele Dekule. Till I meet you next time. Bye for now.